Hello, everyone. My guest today is Rickard Carlsson. He's the CEO and co-founder of Detectify. His background is as a geek with MSc in applied physics, went to management consulting, but then back to technology again with, Detectify. From Sweden, that's where he currently lives. He lived in multiple countries, including the US and India. Rickard, are you ready to take us to the top?
I am, of course.
Good. All right. Tell us about Detectify. What's the company do and how do you make money?
Detectify, what we do is that we crowdsource and scale security information. So when a freelance hacker finds a new type of vulnerability, they submit it to us, we build it into our engine, and then we run that across our customer portfolio. And our customers, they integrate Detectify in their security processes. So more or less, we're trying to more or less automate the bug bounty world.
Mm-hmm. And how do you make money?
We're selling subscriptions to our customers. They pay for our services, anything from $50 a month up to a few $100,000 a year.
Okay. Is $50 a month pretty average or no?
No, average is about 160 euros. I guess that's $180 or something a month is average.
That's right. And who is the customer?
Anything from, the next door web agency with two, three developers to King Games, Spotify, Trello. So more or less the whole spectrum from smaller organizations to some of the biggest tech companies in the world. So
let's say Trello pays you, right? They're obviously paying $180. Now, why would they need multiple seats, or would they just pay $180?
It's a different. Trello is a fairly small organization. Of course, now they're part of Atlassian. But if you take as a case of Spotify, is that they have many hundreds of developers, etc.
So every developer needs a seat.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. Why don't they just buy one seat?
Because they don't pay per seat. They actually pay per asset that they want to do security testing on, and then we actually don't care how many users they add to the platform.
I see.
So more or less, they have for any domain or anything that they would like to do security testing on, they buy a license.
How else do you define an asset besides just a domain?
It more or less it can actually be this. You can actually pay for the same domain twice if you want to run it with different settings. So it depends if you want to run one authenticated mode where we maybe log into your application and run more or less deeper testing, and one that we want to do unauthenticated, just doing broad scale coverage. And then we also have products for like general domain monitoring, where we more or less sweep your whole domain infrastructure. We have some of the biggest DNS infrastructure that we test here holds I think it's 80,000 entries. So then we more or less sweep that on every 8 hour. So we have it's a very different pricing for, the small 3-person agency and the big companies, because they use the service in very different ways.
What year did you launch the company in?
We started building, first lines of code was written about 4.5 years ago. But I guess business started, 4 years ago when we started to more or less formalize it as a product. And then we started selling the product for real about 1.5 years ago. Okay,
so between 2014 and call it 2016, before you started selling, how were you financing the company? Are you bootstrapped or have you raised?
Raised.
You raised.
So
okay.
we brought in, about 2.5 million euros in seed funding, and then 5 million euros now just recently in a Series A.
Okay, so 7.5 million euros, or about $9 million US raised.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what is so that initial seed funding, right? How did you convince people to give you a 2.5, pre-product, pre-everything?
We had some product, and we had, the early, first few customers or users in. And I think one of the first users was like Tumblr or something, starting to use it. And of course, that was to some day, the proof of it. But the whole reason of why we could do is that the founding team behind Detectify, some of the best white hats in the world. So, they've hacked Facebook and Google and Dropbox and Spotify and Klarna and Skype and Square, everything as part of responsible disclosure programs, and are some of the best white hats in the world. And then we say, hey, we take their knowledge and automate it. And you need to believe on this.
And what have you scaled to today in terms of total customers?
Today we have about 700 paying customers.
Okay, that's great.
We are at about 1.5 million euro ARR.
Yep, that makes sense, right? So if I take 700 times 180, I think that comes out to about $126,000 a month, which is 1.5 million in ARR.
Yeah.
And what's growth look like? So go back a year, in June of 2017. How much were you doing then?
It's about 3.5 times we have been growing.
Wow. Okay, good. Yeah, so you're doing about, call it $40,000 back a month back a year ago. Yeah, very good. Healthy growth. Where has most of that growth come from? Is it from expanding, current customers or adding new ones?
I would say both. We have, or I mean, today on the total, we have about, if you look at the whole portfolio, we have more or less a slightly negative churn.
Okay.
If you look at the whole portfolio, and then if you split it up between long tail segment and enterprise segments, then there's a slightly negative churn or slightly, we're losing some money in the smaller segments. But then we're gaining with substantial expansion in the larger segments.
Are you talking like -1%, -2%? How negative?
Yeah, in that range, if you look at the whole portfolio.
So said differently, we could say you have about 102% net revenue expansion year over year.
Yeah.
Got it. And do you look at user churn at all, or are you just really focused on revenue churn?
We look to some at logo churn, but that's, on a month-to-month basis, logo churn is about 2%.
2%?
Yeah.
That's great. And where are you getting most of the new customers?
If you think geography, they are coming from more or less, we're selling mainly Sweden, US. US is the biggest market, then Sweden, and then more or less rest of Europe. If you take a majority of our customers coming through inbounds today, 80% of our revenues are inbound driven. Through mainly organic traffic. We do some small amounts of paid, but the majority is inbound organic.
On the organic, do you have a content team? What are they finding organically? The blog?
Yeah. We're building content. We have built quite a lot of content before, and also we're fairly active in the security community, writing about different topics, both from a fairly technical point of view on a technical blog where we do security research, where we find things that are important for the internet. Our team a few months ago just completely broke Let's Encrypt. And then of course we write about how, Let's Encrypt and what's been and the interactions that we had with Let's Encrypt and how they fixed it, etc., and how they responded to things. So that they do fairly deep and advanced content marketing. And also security, you don't need to try to position your brand as being cool, or you need to position your content being relevant, because if you write about these things about Chrome extensions or Slack tokens or Let's Encrypt, media and other outlets will pick it up because it's actually interesting. You don't need to try to fake it that you have content to spread.
So what's your team size today, and how many of them are focused on content?
Today, if you're looking back in January, we were about 20 people. Today, we're about 30 people. Today, we have 2 to 3 people I would say, working on content. We have a marketing team, about 4 people.
So when you look at your fully weighted CAC, including the salaries of those people you just mentioned, plus any paid spend, what's your fully weighted CAC at?
We haven't updated because we added quite a lot, but historically it's in the range of 500 euros or something like that.
Okay, got it. So you're looking at like a 4 or 5 month payback period, something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Getting larger customers pay, fully upfront, then it's the annual upfront, and then it's good cash flow coming in.
Yep. What do you assume lifetime value is?
Sorry?
What do you assume that your lifetime value is on these customers?
We don't know actually, but today it's about 4,000. Today, if we estimate, it's 4,000 euros. A year ago, we estimated to be 2,000 euros. So it's growing.
Yeah. How are you? Walk me through how you're running that estimation. I know it's just an estimate, but what are you multiplying? How are you doing it?
It's just a basic 36 months weighted lifetime value with average order value and current churn numbers.
Yeah, you're taking 36 times $180 a month ARPU gives you $6,000 plus multiplied by gross margin, and then it goes down a little to 5,000.
Yeah, and then bring it down by current churn estimates on a logo. We discounted by logo churn.
When was the last round of financing? You said early this year?
Yeah, it's in March.
You just did it. You just did it. Okay, very good. Congratulations. Did you raise from any US-based investors or all overseas?
No, we raised from Insight Venture Partners in New York.
Good. Yeah, great. Obviously, organization there. Walk me through the conversations around valuation.
It was quite a lot. We're still very, very early, but a lot of the things we needed to find. We had a few competing offers. But I guess everything was anchored to some extent around, revenue multiples.
Yep. What multiple were you able to get?
I don't think I shouldn't tell you that.
Okay, that's fine. Was it generally higher than average, would you say, or lower?
We were happy with it.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Good. And where's the team based?
Today, majority, more or less all the team is based in Stockholm, Sweden.
Sweden, everyone. Very good. All right, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, Rickard, what is your favorite business book?
I don't read that much, actually.
Do you study any blogs or have a go-to media resource?
Actually, no. I read what's being sent to me.
Yeah. Okay, good. So you don't, okay, no books, no reading. Good. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
No.
Number 3, what is your favorite online tool for building a business?
Online tool. What do I use? I mean, the main thing I guess I use for communication is Slack.
Slack. Yeah. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
At least 8.
Okay, that's good. And what's your situation? Married, single, kiddos?
I'm living with my girlfriend in my house.
That's good. So no kids yet that you know of, huh?
No kids yet.
Good. And how old are you?
I'm 33 years old.
All right, Rickard. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Not that much, actually. I think I guess he would be more would have done more stupid things.
Do more stupid things faster.
Yeah.
All right. Very good, guys. There you have it. Rickard founded Detectify back in 2014, has since scaled up to 700 paying customers, paying about $180 a month. So doing about 126 grand per month in revenue. That is up almost 3x from the same time last year, where they were doing about 40 grand per month, 102% net revenue expansion annually, $500 CAC. So payback is about 5 months. They assume lifetime value is about 36 months. And when you weight in, obviously, margin and churn, then you're looking at about a $5,000 lifetime value. Again, team of 30 based in Sweden, building up the product. Rickard, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you. Have a good day.